falling. It is one of the most universal human experiences when you close your eyes and drift off. You are walking along normally, and suddenly the ground gives way, plunging you into an endless void. Psychologists link this specific nightmare to feelings of inadequacy or losing control in your waking life. Some evolutionary biologists even suggest it is a leftover reflex from our ancestors who literally slept in trees and had to avoid tumbling out of them in the middle of the night. Your brain literally thinks you are plummeting to your death just because your blood pressure dropped a little too fast.
Being chased. This adrenaline-fueled scenario almost always features a faceless attacker, an animal, or a monster right on your heels. No matter how fast you run, the pursuer stays exactly the same distance behind you. Dream analysts say this is a literal manifestation of avoidance, meaning you are running away from a difficult emotion, a toxic relationship, or a looming deadline. It is fascinating how your subconscious mind turns an ignored email into a terrifying shadow monster hunting you through the woods. To stop the dream, therapists actually recommend turning around and facing whatever is chasing you the next time it happens.
Teeth falling out. The sheer panic of spitting out your own molars into your hands is something millions of people endure on a regular basis. You look in the mirror, and suddenly your teeth are crumbling like chalk. While it feels like a medical horror story, it is actually deeply rooted in anxiety about your appearance and how others perceive you. Another popular theory ties this uncomfortable experience to communication issues, suggesting you might have said something you deeply regret and wish you could pull the words back into your mouth. Either way, waking up and frantically checking your jaw is a terrible way to start the morning.
Showing up naked. You walk into a crowded room, a boardroom, or a cafeteria, only to realize you forgot to put on clothes. The strangest part is that nobody else in the dream seems to notice or care, yet you feel completely mortified. This dream is a textbook sign of vulnerability and imposter syndrome. It usually strikes when you are starting a new job, entering a new relationship, or facing a situation where you feel totally exposed and unprepared. Your brain essentially takes your emotional fear of being judged and translates it into the most literal, embarrassing scenario possible.
Failing a test. You are sitting at a small desk, staring at an exam written in a language you do not understand, and the clock is ticking loudly. The weirdest part is that you might have graduated from school decades ago, yet your brain still drags you back to the classroom. This recurring stress dream is closely linked to performance anxiety and the fear of not meeting expectations. High achievers and perfectionists are actually the most likely to experience this, constantly grading themselves in the real world. Once you realize you already have your degree, the relief of waking up from this one is absolutely unbeatable.
Flying. Instead of being trapped on the ground, you suddenly realize you can defy gravity just by flapping your arms or swimming through the air. This is one of the rare recurring dreams that is actually a massive thrill to experience. Taking to the skies usually represents a deep sense of freedom, breaking free from limitations, or finally overcoming a massive obstacle in your life. The higher and smoother you fly, the more control you likely feel you have over your current destiny. But if you are struggling to stay airborne or keep crashing into power lines, it means something in reality is still dragging you down. Moving in slow motion. You're trying to punch someone, run away, or scream for help, but your body feels like it is moving through thick molasses. The harder you push, the heavier your limbs become until you are practically frozen in place. This frustrating phenomenon is a direct reflection of feeling stuck or stagnant in your daily routine. There is also a fascinating biological reason for this, because during REM sleep, your body actually paralyzes your muscles to stop you from acting out your dreams. Your brain briefly registers this real-world paralysis and writes it directly into the script of your dream, making you feel completely helpless. Finding a hidden room. You are walking through your own house when you suddenly notice a door that has never been there before. You open it to discover a massive, beautifully decorated room, or sometimes an entire secret wing of the house. Psychologists view the house as a representation of yourself, meaning this dream is an incredibly positive sign of self-discovery. Finding a new room means you are uncovering hidden talents, exploring new aspects of your personality, or opening yourself up to new opportunities. It is basically your subconscious giving you a tour of your own untapped potential before you wake up.
Driving an out-of-control car. You are behind a wheel, cruising down the highway, when suddenly the brakes completely stop working. You are stomping on the pedal with all your might, but the vehicle just keeps accelerating into traffic. Psychologists interpret this terrifying scenario as a direct reflection of feeling a lack of direction or control in your waking life. It often surfaces when you are overwhelmed by a project at work, a turbulent relationship, or a major life transition that feels like it is moving too fast. The car represents your personal drive, and the failing brakes are your subconscious screaming that you need to slow down before you crash.
Facing a tidal wave. You are standing on a beautiful beach, enjoying the view, when the water suddenly recedes to reveal a massive, towering wall of water rushing toward you. There is absolutely nowhere to run, and the sheer scale of the wave is completely paralyzing. Water in dreams is almost always linked to the emotional state of the dreamer, meaning a giant wave represents a massive surge of repressed feelings. This dream typically hits when you are anticipating a huge, unavoidable event that you know is going to wash over your life and change everything. Surviving the wave in the dream is actually your brain practicing emotional resilience, preparing you to handle the real-life stress head-on.